Welcome back to New Orleans, NADA Show 2025. I'm sitting here with Tony and Ryan from XPEL, and I managed to come by here and I wanted to spend a little time and share this with you for a couple reasons. Number one is the more I've learned about this company, the more interesting and compelling it gets, not certainly just from my vantage point, but for dealers. And speaking of dealers, I have multiple dealers that have told me about XPEL and the impact it's had on their fixed ops, not just their fixed ops department, but on client retention, if you can imagine, on their ability to retain people from sales into service. So first and foremost, Ryan and Tony, I want to just thank you for giving me a few minutes. And I have to tell you in advance, I've got the curiosity, honest to God, of a 4-year-old. And I couldn't help but notice you have a couple cars out there, a Vet, and is it a what is that? Camry. Yeah, 2 really beautiful cars. And you guys are actually doing some things out there that I am very curious about that I like to share with people. So, but before we get out there and take a walk, I'd like to just ask you a couple things, if it's okay.
Sure.
Right, though. First of all, for somebody who's never used XPEL, never heard of XPEL, of course, XPEL is a global company, isn't it? How many countries?
Yeah, well, we're selling product in over 100 countries.
Wow.
And, we've got our own operations in, close to 15. So you can get XPEL and be serviced by XPEL pretty much anywhere.
So needless to say, if that's true, 100 countries, we certainly have it in 50 states.
Yes, we have it in 50 states. Yeah, no problem there.
Okay, great. Secondly, what I know about XPEL, for starters, it is absolutely the gold standard. It doesn't matter if I talk to somebody who independently applies film or is at a dealership, the gold standard, no matter who they are or what franchise, they always say XPEL. What is it that makes your product so differentiated, so much better than everybody else?
Well, we're known for paint protection film. We really invented the category, or at least brought it to prominence. And so, that started really in the enthusiast sector. So any enthusiast that you would find, going back almost 20 years now, knows XPEL for paint protection film. And they know it for a bunch of reasons. The properties of the product, the durability, clarity, sort of the things that you would think about, but they also know it for service. No one gets our product and has a bad experience, and with that global footprint, we can put product on anywhere. We can put, and that's the mandate, right? It's, I find it's harder to give away the company's money to fix problems than it should be. No, everybody needs to be happy. And so I think you see those enthusiast roots, and then you see that commitment to service, and that's probably why you get that reaction.
Tony, speaking of enthusiast, I'm looking at a stand-up of a race car driver, right? And XPEL happens to be a sponsor of a race team. Tell me just what is the connection there? Why are they involved with XPEL or vice versa?
Yeah, that's Scott McLaughlin. He's part of the Penske racing team in IndyCar.
Pretty respected name.
Yes, does quite well. Yeah, I think it drove the fastest lap in Indy history. Yeah, he's done okay.
Yep.
He had XPEL in his car at that point. I don't know. Made it go faster. But at the end of the day, we partner with our dealers in not only their retail operations, but we'll also partner with them in some of their other operations that would obviously benefit not only them, but our brand as well. And we find that racing is a great way for us to connect with the retail dealer. We attend probably an event almost every Saturday each year that has to do with racing, and it's been great for our business.
Very cool. As you know, and you've known me for a while, I'm a car guy through and through. I'm an ex-dealer, and I'm big on data. And I work with dealers across the country. And one of the things that was really interesting to me, I was speaking with one of my dealers, the Keto Auto Group. Not only has XPEL made a very positive impact on their dealership with regards to fixed operations growth, augmenting growth, but it's had such an impact that when I went back there to visit them at the BMW store that they were building, they literally designed it in a way that created a space for XPEL. Yeah. So almost like a business in a business. So what is it when you talk to your dealer clients, and I'll be happy to share what I heard, but what he said was just it delights customers. Yes, sir. It reduces friction. It reduces people coming back and having issues that with paint chips or whatever it might be, their car's going to be worth more when they turn it in trade. It's a good thing all the way around. What do you typically hear from dealers in terms of why they love XPEL so much?
So if you think about it on the front end, we are actually putting, pieces of XPEL on a vehicle that, add value to the vehicle, to your point, add protections where needed, whether it's door edge, door cups, whether it's that strip on the front of the hood, or it's that luggage area of the trunk of the vehicle. A lot of impact there, right? A lot of scratches, dents that can happen. And you think about it, there's a great feeder strategy for them to actually sell more of our product into the F&I office where they can roll it into financing. And what we've seen time and time again, and I said this earlier in an interview, is we had 60% of the people that actually showed up to our booth yesterday, whether it was Allied, exhibitor, or even a dealer. Basically, it was like, I have XPEL in my car, and I'll never buy another car without XPEL.
It's pretty. So think about that, because this was astonishing. I was talking to a Mercedes dealer who I respect a lot, and he's been in the business for over a couple decades. And, we're in a period of time, it was a pretty good party. New Orleans is known for parties. We had a pretty good party from 2020 to 2022. That was about the best party in the history of retail automotive in terms of profitability, margins, things of that nature. The world has changed yet again. And inventory is up. Sales have not kept pace, and margins have dropped considerably, as have net profits for the last 2 years. So one of the things that he mentioned, and I've heard this from multiple stores, two things. You mentioned F&I. So I'll start there. Number one, FTC, obviously raised the bar. Good or bad, they raised the bar last May. And they're really hyper-focused on products that they see as, I can't remember what they call them, not fluff products.
Tangible.
Right?
Yeah.
But they have this term. And so dealers, there's some products that you might be selling now that might be scrutinized highly by the FTC and not the people you want hanging around your dealership. Your products in their hand are, dare I say, FTC-proof, because they are physical, they're tangible, they provide a true value, they have a warranty, they enhance the value of the car. Are you seeing a lot more dealers reach out to you because now they have a very viable option for their F&I office that they can enhance F&I revenue while at the same time delivering to a client something that is of value that in turn is going to end up being more likely to bring that person to the service department and way more likely to have them come back? Are you seeing that?
We are. We're seeing that every single day. And I think what you're going to see soon is another product that we just been innovating on for multiple years now and have held back on announcing it until October of last year. And it's a great way to not only do what you just said, but then add a retention factor to our product of basically getting those customers back into your service department for possible, additional gross profit.
Is that the windshield?
That's correct.
Yeah, so this one really fascinated me because it's somebody that just replaced a windshield for $3,500. Windshields used to be very cheap. Literally, you get a windshield for a couple $100, right? Those days are over. With so much technology embedded in the windshield, even in a non-luxury product, it's not unusual to have a $1,500 windshield or more. So to have a product, from my understanding, and that's, I want to, if it's okay, actually get up and show people what you have over there. But I want to talk about that windshield product because it sounded like it took literally years to develop, to get it right, because you actually warranty this for a year, 12 months, right?
Yes.
And to do that, you're placing a bet saying, I'll put all the money. Literally, I'll put all the money that thing's going to protect your windshield.
Well, and to your earlier point, we know with paint protection film, when a customer buys it once, they want it again. We have the data.
So talk about that.
We have we consumers find value in paint protection film. Getting someone the opportunity to buy it, getting them to buy it the first time, you're really fighting an awareness issue, which is a good opportunity, obviously, for the dealers to help. But once they have it, we have the data to say they love the product and they come back. And so through that process, as we're dealing with, years and years of repeat customers, say, what do you want that we don't have? And the windshield film is number one, always number one. And, it's a challenging product. You're looking through it, so there's all sorts of technical complexity to it, but it's always been the number one consumer requested product from the people that know us. And so, finally being able to bring that to market Good for the consumer, good opportunity for dealers. It's a top requested product.
One of the other things about windshields, just as an aside, being that I've been through this multiple times, we've got one vehicle, two of them have heads-up displays. And so when you replace a windshield, not only is it insanely expensive, but you have to deal with getting everything recalibrated. And people don't realize, unless you've gone through that, it's not as simple. It's not the, safeguard replace. It's not the guy showing up and he just fix your widget. That doesn't work. And it's certainly not going to stop it from happening again. But what you're talking about, I can relate to personally, and I can definitely attest to the fact that when you have something like that, you just don't want to ever not have it again. Because we'll start here. I think that when I was at a Google meeting not too long ago, I think nearly 90% of people would prefer to never go back to a dealership for the rest of their lives for service, right? They'll go back when they need repairs. They'll certainly go back to maintain their car, but I don't want to go back for anything beyond that. And so when you talk about something like the windshield, that's one more thing I'm not likely to go back. And when you talk about the paint protection, there's another thing I'm not. And when that happens, it's not surprising retention goes up, because interestingly, if I have a problem with my car, I'm not mad at the OEM. I'm mad at you.
Yeah, right.
And if I associate those negative things with you, I'm not buying another car from you, right, wrong, or indifferent. So with everybody fighting so hard for retention, I think that's such a big thing that you cannot overstate. I was going to bring up one other thing with F&I, but just I want to, like I said, I'm so curious, if you don't mind, if we could just get up and move over to the windshield area.
Sounds great.
All right, in the long journey over here, I somehow managed to lose Ryan and Tony. But don't you fret. I got an upgrade. I got Adam. And Adam, you are a territory manager for XPEL?
Territory manager for XPEL, correct.
What does that mean? What do you do?
I oversee markets, so I cover 6 states. I oversee our independent network, our dealership network, any installation opportunities we have, dealership opportunities. I pretty much oversee that and try to grow those territories.
I've got a question. You mentioned something, independents and dealers, right? So you have dealers out there across the country that are big fans of XPEL, that are using it every day, right? To enhance customers' ownership experience, retention, and obviously profitability. But you also have independents out there doing it. And I think the very fact that there are people that literally start businesses specifically because of the opportunity that XPEL brings, right? Brings customers in and creates those profitable opportunities, seems to me a surefire signal that maybe more dealers should be doing that. Do you agree?
I would think so. Not even just the products. Everybody is getting more into the products, but the name. That's the one thing I hear when I'm in different markets is a customer called me looking for your product. That's what I'm after.
I love that you said that, because there are certain products that over the course of time, right? If somebody wants to get a tissue, they say, I'm going to grab a Kleenex, even if it's not Kleenex, right? I'm going to FedEx something. They'll say that if they're going to the UPS office, right? And XPEL seems to be at that level, because everybody I talk to, like I was saying earlier, XPEL is the gold standard. So it's either XPEL or everything else, right? And so tell me, what is it from your perspective? And I want you to talk to me about, if you would, this new windshield product. But just tell me, as you talk about not just the windshield product, but the PPF, right? Or your ceramic coat, your window tint. What is it that sets in your mind? Because you work with dealers all the time, installers all the time. What sets your product apart?
Well, I think the first thing you got to think about, as let's just say an independent dealer, we want customers. How are we going to find customers? What I absolutely love about this company is we put our money where our mouth is. We go to that customer. It's very easy for any shop in the country to call us, say, I need your product. Well, why did you look after us? I've got people calling me 3 times a day just saying, I want the XPEL.
That's crazy.
And they don't even say what they want. They just say, XPEL, I want it. I'm actually an installer. I used to do this. I still kind of do this. So this part of the business is absolutely fun for me. So they just installed our windshield protection film. So what is wonderful about this, cracks, chips, cracks, I love the camera technology and glass now, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
So we need to protect it. What can we do to protect it? Film like this has been on the market for a few years, but no one's quite figured it out. Clarity issues.
Yeah, I noticed. First thing I noticed, I don't know it's there.
There you go. Crazy. Even now, it doesn't matter right here now. What does it look like when I'm driving?
Or was it late in the rain?
Exactly, in the rain, when the wipers are going off. So when you're driving with this completely clear, I get people ask me, what's the difference between this and Clear Bra? Well, think of it like Clear Bra. It has the same properties with the self-healing, which is very nice. So if you get a little scratch, it just comes right out. But the adhesive construction's a little different. It's made to be clear. Now we go from not only protecting, but we have clarity we have to worry about now.
And clarity is a big, it sounds like a small thing. That's a hard thing, I would think, to master, right? Because you have to consider all kinds of weather conditions. You have to consider somebody might live in temperatures that hit 100 plus, or they go into other temperatures. This thing, it might be in an area where it's 100 plus and it might be 30 degrees.
For 10 inches of snow.
Yes. And it's got to be able to stand up to that, right? So we were just touching base. There is a warranty or protection on this for 12 months?
12,000 miles, 12 months, 1 year warranty. And you're probably like, well, what all does that cover? We back up our products. We have transferable warranties on our products. So what's great is if anything happens to this within a year, and I get a year, but that's just a manufacturer warranty. One of the questions we get asked a lot, well, how long can I expect it to last? Well, do you change the oil in your car? Well, sure. We have to maintenance it. We have maintenance products for the windshield film specifically to extend the longevity. The longer we can extend it, the longer we can protect it. That's what's best for the end user.
It's really cool. Back in the day, I remember the first time I got PPF on a car, I remember it turned yellow, right? Cool. I remember PPF that if you tried to put it on, a lot of us at some point tried to do this, right? And when you put it on, you can't take it off. If you took it off, you got to start over.
It's a nightmare. Here we go.
Things have changed, right? In terms of PPF. First of all, there's absolutely no yellowing. This thing, like I said, it stands up. It does what it's supposed to do. It stays clear. It stays beautiful. What's really cool, I noticed, like when you have it on door edges, you literally, until you go right up to it, you can't see it. So it doesn't do anything to change the appearance. People kind of love their cars. And they want to keep the look of the car and not have this obvious.
This is an old school leather bra. We know when you buy a $40,000 car or a $200,000.
Yeah, notice you are both a sports car and a family car over here.
Well, you got that beautiful paint job. You don't want to cover it up.
Family car for a single parent and an adult kid. It's perfect.
Well, it's got nice trunk space, so you got plenty of that for the soccer ball that's right there.
So it's like I can literally not tell anything's on there. It's pretty amazing.
The whole car is protected. You don't even know it's there.
Tell me your favorite story from a dealer that was XPEL dealer, or maybe they're a brand new dealer, or maybe they just started in the last month, 2 months, 3 months. What's your favorite story that you've heard? Maybe it was because of something that happened with a customer or something that changed their ability to make money augment their revenue. What's your favorite story?
I'll tell you that I'm an installer. Window tint's my favorite thing. I can do PPF. I have very minimal knowledge in ceramic coating. I admit that to everybody. I have a dealer in Chicago, good young guy, great business mind, and we went back and forth on coatings, and I felt bad because I couldn't explain it. I can't get to his level like I can a window tinter or a Clear Bra guy. So I said, you know what? I reached out, and XPEL is wonderful with resources. That's something we do not lack is resources. I reached out and I said, I need help changing this guy's mind. I know we've got the right products. I just don't know how to get them over that hump. They didn't waste any time. We flew 2 people out to work with their entire staff in 2 days. The first day, they were there for 2 days. The first day, his name's Frank up in Chicago, called me and said, Adam, I need to apologize. I'm like, all right, what's going on? He goes, this is amazing. I can't believe it took me this long to listen to you. This is by far the easiest product I've installed. And it's something I feel confident giving to my customer. I feel proud. I felt good as his rep. That's what you want to hear as a rep, that you're doing what's best for them. But I now know I've got this guy. He's going to trust me. He's moved forward a year. He's actually moving into a new building. His business is growing. He's excited. That's probably one of the better stories I have.
Very cool. Well, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. I mean, all of your products are the gold standard, but I think with the windshield, with people having to replace so many windshields these days, and not just the money it takes, but the time it takes, especially if you have to recalibrate things inside the windshield, I just think this is going to be such a hit in dealerships as something that's going to allow them to give their customers something that's going to relieve, it's literally going to allow them to drive peace of mind and not worry about a rock comes up and hits it. And by the way, I can't overlook this. This is very spiritual. He mentioned self-healing, right? So that means what I learned is literally if I happen to be in San Antonio and it's a 90, 100-degree day, and I happen to have a snag, I come back out, that thing healed itself. Or I could literally pour, I heard warm water, hot water, or warm water, and it literally heals itself. Is that accurate?
That is 100%.
It's crazy, crazy. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Wishing you guys all the best.
When we do
2025. You got to come to Portland, or you hook me up with somebody in Portland that has it. I would literally be there tomorrow. Because I have replaced my windshield in 2 cars. I've replaced the windshield 3 times in 2 years.
We all have that story.
It is, right? And rock chips, there's no worse feeling. You've got a nice car, you bought a new car, and you all know you're driving, minding your own business. Maybe you're shaving, putting on makeup, on the phone. I'm kidding. No, you're concentrating, but all of a sudden you hear that awful sound, bam, and you hear it hit the hood, and you know when you get out of that car what's going to happen.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
It's terrible, right? So anyways, thanks for taking the time. Wish you and the team all the best.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. So Ryan, Tony, I got to say, there's a lot of products here. I don't know if you know this. 2,300 booths, 86 different categories, thousands and thousands of products. What I've seen here is massive value for the dealer, opportunity to enhance front-end gross, back-end gross, retention, ownership experience, and the ability to feel really, it's one of the few products, maybe the only one I've ever heard of, guys, that I could preload on my car and feel great about it, because I know that my customers are going to feel great about it. And I think out of this entire convention center, that's insanely unique. So first of all, congratulations. You guys obviously have built a great company, great products. And I think if you're a dealer, if you're a fixed op director, fixed op manager, or a dealer, how do they get in contact with you guys? Who should they talk to if they say, hey, I just want to learn more, or they want to sign up and become an XPEL dealer? Like, for example, I talked to the Mercedes store in San Antonio, or like I said, Colorado, who's got a luxury group up there, and many of the other dealers out there. How do they get in touch?
Sure. I mean, you can always go online, xpel.com, give us your info, and we'll be in touch from our team that's around the country.
Wonderful. Thank you for giving me your time.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Tony, thanks so much as well.